What are the things that make you guys tick?
Being able to pivot really quickly, being able to move with whatever's in front of you. We're moving into the US at the moment. We're in beta. All of a sudden, we're debanked. We have to move with the changes that happen that are out of your control.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ben and Burke Show with your favourite MBA and high school dropout, talking everything crypto, business and personal growth. And today we have another awesome, amazing special guest coming. Well, I've come to Perth. Tracey Plowman, the COO of Bamboo, the micro-investing dollar cost averaging app with over 50,000 downloads. It's a really amazing app, founded here in Australia. And Tracey's also a member of Collective Shift, host of Crypto Curious, and just an all-round champion. We thought we'd have you on the podcast. I was on yours yesterday, so we thought we'd return the favour. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It feels like you're following me around Australia. We're together in Sydney and now you're here in Perth. So
such a creeper.
I've seen her more than you, mate. It's a nice change, to be honest.
It's nice to see you here in Perth.
That's awesome. Well, Trace, we want to get into your background a little bit, but let's just go straight in. Like, what's it like working in a crypto startup? Like, you guys have been around for how long now?
It's 4 years.
4 years, and you're the COO. You're the similar role to Bergs in your own company.
Yeah, we make it happen, don't we?
Yeah.
We hold it.
You guys are the quarterbacks, right? Like, all the shit goes through you. Talk us like, what's it like being in the bull market, bear market? Tell us about the journey.
Well, we've seen it through. I mean, look, are we startup? I suppose we're a small business now.
Scale up?
Yeah, let's say scale up. Yep. Yeah, let's call it that. Look, it's interesting, and I've been through a few startups, but this one is my favourite. This one's my baby, and I think it's because I love the product, and you need to. If you love the product, it's your own. If you've got skin in the game, it's interesting. Everything pivots and changes really quickly. And I'm a high river, much like yourself, Benny, and I think I like that, and I like the fast pace. Yeah. Certainly not a govy worker, although I've done my time in government in the early days.
You both are similar in that nature.
Did you do your govy time as well?
16 years in health.
Oh, my. You know what? You are very measured in the way you talk. I should have...
Well, to be fair, I did work for the Fiona Wood Foundation, a not-for-profit, but we were based in a hospital. We did clinical stuff there. And I worked out at unis and stuff as well. Yeah. Did a lot of collaboration, but interfacing with the government. Oof.
I know. Yeah. You know, I don't think I've told you the story of me in government.
Okay, here we go.
Good one.
Yeah.
Because I worked for the Tourism Commission in the very late 90s. And my job was to go around and explain to all of the different tourism operators in WA and all the different tourism centres, explain to them what the internet was.
Oh, wow.
And explain why this was good for their business.
Fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. So it was going to talk to, say, little bed and breakfasts down in Albany or the whale shark operators up in Exmouth to say, look, the internet's a thing. This is the computer here, and you can put your product on here, and someone on the other side of the world will see it and come here and visit you. And a lot of them are like, well, I know the internet. I understand it a little, but I'm not sure about this. So we would actually explain, and we have to get the tourism, bodies of each region on board and say, look, this is the future. This is how it's going to work. This is going to bring dollars into your area. We need to explain it to these guys. And a lot of them came on board. They could see that it was going to work for them. But a lot of them were just, I don't believe in it. Don't think it's going to work. Does that sound very familiar to you?
Sounds very familiar. I could imagine that is much like working in crypto, simultaneously the best and worst job. Where like you're in an awesome area, you would have got to travel, but then you talk to people, they're like, nah, internet's a scam, crypto's a scam, doesn't matter, not for me.
Yeah, well, it was going from that stage of, Web 1 to Web 2 where it was read only. So, that was that. It was that stage of them understanding that people could book through it and, so it was interesting. But again, it was banging your head against a brick wall sometimes. Like Ma and Pa Kettle out on the farm were like, I don't know about this internet thing. So it really similar to what we're doing now, which is explaining to everyday people, this is crypto, it's here to stay, it's not going anywhere, this is why we can make it work for you, and people are sceptical.
Because that's your users, right? Like, dollar cost averaging, fairly new to the market. Like, what's been the biggest challenge to onboard over 50,000 downloads? That's a lot. How did you get, what were the things that helped you on the product side?
Well, right now in this bear market, we're not focused on growth and bringing users in. We're really looking after the users that we've got and retention and making sure that they understand what point in the cycle that we are in, and why they're probably not seeing that their balance go up and why it's a bit stagnant at the moment. We are in a bear market. But when we do look at the new users, those users were me in 2018 when I didn't know what crypto was and why should I listen. And we as an app are the trainer wheels. You know, we're the ones saying, only put a small amount of money into this thing if you're unsure about it, you want to learn a little bit more, where we really are the trainer wheels. Put a little bit of spare change in here. Only Bitcoin, Ethereum, because they're kind of the blue chips. They're the big ones. Don't worry about all these other bits and pieces. So we feel like we're kind of educating and training them on the early stages. So, yeah.
What's it like working? So the CEO of Bamboo, Blake, I feel as though Blake and I are very similar in a sense of like, we need to go over there across the water, no idea how to build the boat, and that's why we've got you guys.
Yeah.
The relationship dynamic is very similar.
If you haven't noticed, that's why we're both stressed to the gills.
So we're sitting over here.
You're sitting over that side.
We're sitting over this
They're
side.
sitting across me on the pod.
Look, there's a lot of similarities with you and Blake, and then there's really not. I mean, Blake's you are on the go. I've said this before. There's a couple of you guys in this crypto industry who are high revers, who are go, 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 okay? And you are one of them. I think I've ever I love watching your Instagram, which I've told you before. Where is he now? What's he doing? He's constantly on the go, always making things happen. Blake's make things happen as well, but he's a little bit more measured and just chilled out, I guess.
Yeah.
And I love working with him, but he's definitely an ideas man.
Yeah.
I think you've got the ideas man, and you need the people behind them to execute and make things happen as well. But I love working with him. We've got a great relationship. He's like a brother, and then sometimes probably a bit of a work husband. We fight a fair bit.
Yeah, nice.
But you need someone. You don't want a yes man next to you. You want someone that's going to tell you the truth.
What's the keys to success as a crypto startup? Like, what are the things that make you guys tick, do you think?
Being able to pivot really quickly, being able to move with whatever's thrown in front of you. You look at, we're moving into the US at the moment. We're in beta. All of a sudden, kind of we're debanked. So we have to move with the changes there. So there's those changes that happen that are out of your control, but there's also listening to your user, understanding what makes them tick, understanding what they need. We're going through some big changes with the app at the moment. We're looking forward to bringing those to market later this year and early next year, and they've all come about from market research, understanding what our users liked about our app and perhaps what we weren't giving them. So you really do need to listen to the market.
I think that pivoting and being adaptable, that really resonates to us. Like, I feel as every month we're like, okay, shit, what's new now? What do we need to move to?
That's exactly it. It's not just the crypto market changing, the macro market as well. Because you're B2C, and it's one of the most challenging things where interest rates are going up, people don't have money, they're not investing as much. Shit, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, who has money in the market? Or how do we, first of all, attraction is very, very hard in a bear market.
Yep.
How do we attract those people who's got money? But then retention of the people that are there. How do you keep
retention? And we're telling these people, buy the dip. How many bloody dips can they buy? They're going to run out of money, So then it comes down to, that's why I spoke earlier about us focusing on retention, looking after these really loyal users that we have now and making them understand what this market cycle is, why we've, not seen much happening in the last 12 months. So they understand, hey, we're here in the market cycle. Just don't keep dollar cost averaging because we see it going here, or what history tells us is going to happen over the next few months. So really looking after them and making them understand that dollar cost averaging, is the strategy, not just for this market, but for many other markets as well.
Yeah.
So we can't just keep saying buy the dip and then.
It's one of the most solid strategies and is proven time and time again by everyone on the planet. Yet it is also the hardest sell because people want to get rich today. They want the spiciest thing that you offer.
Yeah, exactly. How many people, us included, probably have just sold at the top and the bottom because that's what happens. It's just psychology. It's really, really hard to
emotional.
break that, especially for new people into the market. Like we've been in the market for a while now. We've seen the highs and lows, but we still find it really hard. So anyone new entering the market, as soon as you see it going up, and we know that crypto right now, if you speak to anyone on the street, no one's talking about Bitcoin and crypto. They think it's gone.
Yeah.
The mainstream media is not talking about it right now, which is a good thing because we know that that's the part of the market cycle where it's quiet before the storm. So everything's kind of leading into that.
Do you see that the charts of your users doing the same thing? Bear market comes in, dollar cost averaging goes down, less transactions, less interest?
You know what? It's funny because no, we actually last year when all the panic happened and the price went down, we had 4 out of 5 was our best inflow months of all time.
Wow. And when you mean inflows, this is basically just volume?
Volume of people bringing in. And that's because they had learnt, hang on, price is down. So obviously we're a micro savings app, which is when you make a purchase, your roundups are happening in the background. But a lot of our users know that they want a DCA, so they've picked a certain day of the month, or whether that's monthly or whatever, that they DCA in. So the people use us as DCA. Yeah. But a lot of people will see the market, realise that it's down, and they've chosen to kind of, okay, I might chuck an extra 500 in today or this month. So when shit hit the fan last year, like I said, there was 4 out of 5 months where we saw, we were just as surprised as you guys look now. We were like, wow. So these guys are listening to us. They understand that, hey, this is an opportunity. We're going to buy here.
That's great.
Yeah. In saying that, we did see a little bit of a reverse. So at the start of this year, when we saw that, great pump, what were we up by in March? Like 61% up or something in March?
Yeah, we went from 16,000 in December to 30 something US. Yeah.
So we were up by a lot. And then we did see a little bit of outflow because people were like, okay, and then take a bit of profit here. And we survey our users and we listen to them and we chat with them. And Elliot, who you guys, know and love, he's fantastic on retention. He speaks to our users like, they're our friends, and we know what they're doing with their money, and they're taking it out to buy cars, to buy,
that's awesome.
To have 40ths, to do things with it. So when that peak happens, and they can see that they've done well, they will take a bit out. But they stay in and they start reinvesting.
Yeah.
So, that's the life cycle with the app.
And with the decision to focus on like lifetime value or increasing transaction volume of existing users versus new, was that just a decision that in a bear market it's just too expensive
exactly.
to new customers?
When we look at cost of acquisition for our users at the moment, without putting heaps of cash into TV and other kinds of campaigns, it's just not worth it right now, because we are in a bear market. We're not going to get a heap of users.
Yep.
No one's out there talking or listening about crypto.
Yeah.
We feel that's going to be next year. So let's put our pedal to the metal when that happens.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We took a similar point of view on our lower tiers. So our lower tiers, our starter membership, and just found that it's just basically there's very little new entrants coming in, mum and dad investors, which is that starter membership overlaps very similar with your audience. There's just very little engagement. So it's interesting. Talk us through what's the day in the life of a COO of a crypto scale up.
Changes every day.
Yeah.
Changes every day. Depends. It really does. It depends what happens. And, I might have a different project. Like the last probably 6 weeks and the next 6 weeks, my day-to-day is infused with, SOC 2, which I'm doing. So that is...
What's SOC 2?
Really? Oh, let's not even go down that road. Incredibly important, but incredibly boring.
Right. Just give us a 2-sentence explainer what SOC 2 is.
I don't even want to go.
It's just compliance.
Yeah,
sounds compliance.
It is compliance, but it's
already killed her.
I know. Just in the word.
But it's very important for the business. But it is time.
Sure.
Yeah, consuming. But I'm nearly on the other side of it. Getting to the other side of that.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, we're really distributed as well. So everyone's everywhere. Like we've got staff all over the place. But we do start the day with a nice big scrum, all the big Brady bunch on the screen there.
Every day?
Every day.
Nice.
Every day we all chat. Not everyone's in every day. Our CTO at the moment's over in Europe. And, like I said, Elliot's over East. Our devs are in the Ukraine, Nepal, Queensland as well. We've got our support in the Philippines.
Can you bring everyone in, even overseas team?
Yep. No, well, the Ukraine's at the time zones are not so good, but we try and bring everyone in because
That's awesome.
One thing that I think that we're really, really proud of in the business is our culture, and we've worked really hard on that and bringing the right staff members in. I think having worked in a lot of businesses, many different types of businesses, culture is super important, especially in a startup.
Especially in a bear market for crypto.
Yeah.
That's the key, because you're going to war every single day. You're in a startup. It sucks. Everything's against you. Yeah. You need your team to be aligned and be in the trenches with you.
Yeah, 100%. But that's the thing. If you've got the right team and you're all really excitable, and I think at the moment we feel we've been through a lot, but the light at the end of the tunnel is getting brighter and brighter.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it April next year?
I think so. It's funny because, you change each day from being a bull to a bear. And I think so. I feel like, obviously, the BlackRock ETFs, huge. I mean, the halving, everyone puts a lot on the halving, but I think it couldn't just be the halving. There had to be something else to spur it along. We talked about DeFi. I think, BlackRock is huge, and just the change in momentum and the way the talk and the language with Jerome Powell. We spoke about this on the potty the other day, Ben. I think it just feels the winds of change have happened a little bit in the US, and the MICA in the UK. I just feel that things have changed a little bit, and if we can get that ETF stamped, and then we're off to the races, I guess.
This is what we talked about as well with when we did a halving episode. It's 6 months either side of the halving, but there's always something happening in the background, whether it's ICOs or NFTs or something exciting in the space.
Yeah.
And it can just take that period of time, that 4 years, for that new innovation to come through to spur on a bull market.
100%. Yeah. I think NFTs aren't dead either. There's so much going on.
Yeah, well, the Yuzuki.
Cheeky little side project myself.
A little bit alpha?
You ready to spark it? Or
no, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm ready to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Funny, you just mentioned the Mizuki project, which I was chatting about with some friends last night. And that, what was that, 32 ETH that it did, in 4 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they raised like 40 million or something.
Yeah. Like, that's just madness.
Yeah.
Madness.
And everyone loved it.
Well, it wasn't very good, if you had to.
Yeah, I've heard it was pretty average,
It was rubbish.
Duplicate NFTs.
So much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And then the one...
Some people do.
Yeah, and last week that the one through Sotheby's, what did that sell for? I think it was 6 million for one piece of artwork.
Unreal.
Yeah, madness. There you go.
Talk us about getting a job in crypto. So before Bamboo, you were in DCM, Digital Capital Management.
Yeah, that's right. So it was a bit of a gun for hire doing different contracts, and I was doing... I came into crypto through Digital Capital Management, and that was in 2019. So the guys there, they were one of the first digital funds in Australia, and that was my intro to crypto. And look, that was a baptism of fire, to say the very least. And so Ben Ritchie, who's actually one of the directors with Bamboo, and Blake, I was working with Blake there. And that was just a ball. Had such a great time with those guys. And that's where Bamboo came across our desk. And that was the ICO boom.
Yep.
And I guess that's why I feel like Bamboo's, my third child, because that was in the early days. And for me, not having a clue about crypto, seeing all these different ICOs that we looked at, Bamboo was the one that stuck with me that I invested in.
Yeah.
Personally, actually I invested in a lot of shit, but that was one that I invested in that got me, because at the time I was like, I will use this.
Yeah.
This is everyone needs this.
Yeah.
No one gets crypto, but this is what everyone should use. Because I had Raise.
Yep.
And this is obviously Bamboo's.
Yeah, just made sense.
Yeah. It's Raise, but for crypto. So that was, that got me in straight away, and hook, line, and sinker. But that was a hard year, because I came on board, and it was like literally 6 weeks later, crypto fell into a winter. So
it's the worst, isn't it?
Yeah.
So depressing.
Yeah.
Soul destroying.
Remember those days, man? Like, so those days when you're operating the business.
What, 2018?
Yeah.
Oh, that was just a disaster.
So I used to contract, consult with Ben, help him out with a bunch of stuff. I remember those conversations, mate, where he just like,
no, it was fucked.
Dumps, there's hardly any users. Like, what are we going to do?
It was just bleeding members.
Well, I met you guys at a Burswood dinner in 2019.
Is that when we first met?
Yeah.
Wasn't earlier than that, 2019?
2019.
18 or 19?
No, well, it was one of those.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But that's when there was a small community everywhere at that point. But if there was a meetup, it would be big.
Yeah.
There's only ever one meetup and everyone would come.
Yeah. It's like one crypto meetup.
And it was all really exciting. But, I remember there was only there'd be like 70 guys and 2 girls. It was like a complete sausage fest. And I was always really, at the time, a little bit, scared to ask too many questions.
Yeah.
But then I remember hearing everyone asking stupid questions, because the lingo was like, I remember thinking, I don't know anything about finance, but it wasn't finance, it was crypto. And the jargon was all stupid across the board.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of...
And it was changing by the day.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Even, that's so fascinating, your story. The way I found out about Bamboo was obviously through these guys, but Nesh, who...
Yeah, Nesh is the best.
Yeah, right? He's such a legend.
Yeah.
So he was working at a place called Space Cubed, which is, or Plus 8, which is an incubator. And I was working in health, and we're working on projects together. So he was working on Bamboo as well as operating that. Yeah. So it's like, I'm just like normally changing with meetings, and then like all of a sudden he appears in a meeting with like you, me, on like, you know, like the company talking about Bam. Like,
that's so yeah, it was Nesh and Phil that were kind of the spearhead talking about it. And then as soon as crypto winter happened, and Blake, it was off in the meantime trying to help them raise and do bits and pieces. But, you know, the way the story goes was Digital Capital Management helped them raise, you know, $1 million, and we took them off. And then crypto winter happened. And then, like many projects, it just fell by the wayside. And that team, you know, who are an amazing team and built amazing product, who we haven't actually even had to change it till today. They built a superb product. They just couldn't commercialize it, though. They just couldn't do what they had to do. And then they all went off and did their own thing. And we said, look, there was a bunch of us, me, Blake, and Ben, and a couple of others that said, look, we would like to buy it. So we bought it 3 years ago. We took control.
Nice.
And at that point, there was 2,000 users, and then we had a really big push and took it to where it is today. We worked really hard.
It's unreal. Really
hard to get it where it is. And, you know, it's testament to what they built, but, you know, we really did take it to the next level, and it's still a long way to go.
Talk us the tough times. We've had a number of tough times. What is the tough times like in your team?
Look, and we've been there. Like, we've had to let a lot of our team go. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. And that is the tough time.
That's the shit one.
I know. Look, we've all of us in the crypto market have been through it the last 18 months. We all know people that didn't make it at all. The fact that we're all sitting here and we've still got a business is a testament to us.
We're all riding scooters because we can't afford a drive anyway.
They are the tough times, especially when you have to let really good people go.
100%.
Yeah,
they had to put their heart and soul into it.
Yeah,
and you both know it's not for performance. Just the fact that it just can't afford it. Can't do it.
Well, we've had people that were like, "Look, can we come back later?"
Yeah,
you know? And we're like, you know, and we've taken pay cuts, but we just know that it's going to be okay. You just stick in there, I guess. But look, we spoke to a bunch of people at the event over the last few weeks that are all like, we're still here, we can make it, you know. But that's the hardest thing in startups is, you know, cash flow. Yeah, hoping that you can get through.
What's your husband say? Like, you know, you're in this crazy, wild, crappy crypto startup world.
My husband is literally the smartest man I know.
Okay.
He's incredibly smart, but he just does not care for crypto. Like, that's your bag. Just tell me when you've made $1 million. But look, to go back a step further, going into digital capital management with Ben Ritchie and those crew, they're old school friends from Albany, and they went to school with my husband, so he knows all the crew. Yeah. You know, he loves it. He's happy to hear all the shenanigans for me to do what I'm doing, and you know, my kids probably understand it just as much.
Yeah, nice.
They're on their Roblox, mine and their crypto there.
Nice.
He's a big supporter. He's a big supporter of Bamboo.
So back to being COO, my experience in my limited time as COO is I rock up and I just see what's on fire from Ben.
Yeah.
And then I just go and put out the fire.
Yeah.
And speaking of your kids there, what is it like to be a mum of a couple of kids and work at a company that you're scaling up?
Well, see, I'm a general manager, or, you know, I suppose COO and CEO, I guess, of the home business.
Yeah.
A lot of people say.
Yeah.
Look, I just don't think working mums get enough credit, to be honest. Like, you just have to juggle everything, but women are good at juggling. Yeah. You'd be a good juggler one day.
Oh, if he remembers, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll give you an example, right? I rock up here and I'm like, where is this place? So we're at a podcasting studio and we're in like some skin studio thing. Like, I looked at the front, I'm like, no, this ain't it. Give Ben a couple of calls, doesn't pick up. Rocks up 10 minutes later with a coffee. He's like, yeah, no, I was meditating. Like, there's some random excuse. Could be anything. Could be like lost my passport, didn't know where I was going. I was on Melbourne time, whatever.
I think
so no, he's definitely not the guy.
You have to be organised. That's probably one of my. I'm pride myself on being pretty organised.
Yeah. I think that's the skill set of a COO though. Like, I can juggle balls, but like in terms of like attention to detail, I'll get the balls off the ground, but I won't throw them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's different types of managing different stuff.
And I think it's also making sure that you're just across everything in the business.
Yeah.
And when you've got a business this size, it's easy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to be the CEO if the business was too much bigger, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. We've had this conversation and we're like, when you're managing really big teams, lots of complexity. Do you get entrepreneurial whiplash from Blake? I get it from him all the time where he like comes back from a conference or something. He's like, all right, we're going in this direction. This is what we're doing. We're doing this exact thing.
Okay.
And I was like, you what, mate? Post it in Slack. Everyone drops what they're doing. Do you ever experience that, or is Blake?
I do know exactly what you're that way. I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that is a true entrepreneur, isn't it?
That's his job,
right? That is a true entrepreneur. Yeah.
Our company would fail if we didn't have that.
Yeah.
I think it's balance, right? Like you've got to have the yin and the yang, and you look at you and Blake is the same. I think as Aaron and I.
Yeah.
You sort of like you match the craziness with a bit of like, hey, pull your head in. We need to focus.
And you have to have that open and honest relationship.
That is key, especially with upper management. You got to have it's like a marriage. Like I said, you got to have your work husband.
Yeah, he's like, bro, we're literally in a relationship.
You do spend more time with that person.
100%.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to have the hard conversations.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure we've hung up on each other a few times, but then you got to ring up the next one. It's back to normal.
Back to normal, yeah.
That's how it is.
We have this thing called elephants in the room. So every time we have our weekly call, but Aaron and I write elephants in the room. What's going on? Did someone say something? Who's pissed someone off? What's on your mind? What's the thing?
Yeah.
You then get it out of the way.
You know what it is? It's respect.
Yeah.
Like Blake is amazing.
Yeah.
And he's so articulate and so well spoken. Like, for example, he was we had the Oz DeFi event on Tuesday night.
Had to go.
Mark and that. I bloody love Mark. What a legend. Talk about the guys in crypto that are busy, you and him.
Mark goes hard.
Yeah, he does go hard.
Yeah.
And so Blake spoke at that, but he was really tired. We got in super late the night before. We had a really big day.
Is this the podcast day that we did? That was that night?
Yeah, then he went to that after the potty. So I knew I could see him, Blake. I know he's when he's on when he has to be on.
Yeah.
But I could tell he was really tired.
Yeah.
I was like, I know he'll do a good job, but I don't think we're going to get the best Blake at this chat.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Got up there. He's but he does Is that a
This has been. I look at him. I look at his eyes. And he's like half down. I'm like, you're dead. And he's like, bang, showtime.
Yeah.
Puts on his voice. It's amazing.
He does. What are those? I gotta forget what it does. The things in the evening. You'll have to edit this out so I remember what it's called. The talking. You go practice talking.
It's a mantra.
No. The here in Perth, where you could go and talk.
Toastmasters?
He does Toastmasters.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done that for a while, so I think that's why he's such an amazing.
He's a good speaker, yeah.
Very eloquent, very very well spoken, and just it gets his point across. Where I'm just the worst.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people that I used to work with. They went to that, and essentially they're just like, right, you're getting up right now, and you're doing this talk on this. You just practice and practice.
Yeah.
That's incredible for him in that position, having done so many talks, to still be that hungry and do it.
Yeah, he's great.
What a weapon.
He's a good lad.
Yep.
Talk us about, you said a few years ago, your first crypto meetup, 2 girls, 100 dudes.
Yeah.
What's
Good ratio.
Good ratio?
I was loving it.
What's your...
with all their neck beards and hoodies and...
Oh, they were just like... There was no nerds. Nah, not at all. No, it's much better.
Yep.
Yeah, much better. There's so many amazing females coming into the space now.
Yep.
Popping up all over the place. Like I was saying earlier, there's probably 4 or 5 really good Facebook groups. Awesome. There's one that's starting to fire again a little bit now, like the I'm going to get it wrong now, but there's another lady that's just taken over it. She's doing a great job, the Australian and New Zealand crypto Facebook group. Nice. So for any women that want to jump in there. Not that I think that you should have to have a female and you have to have a male. You know what I'm like? I'm in with the boys. But you know what? Some women are more comfortable just having females around, and that's fine. Yep. So there's some really good groups that you can jump into for that. There's, there's a couple of American ones as well. So I think, it's great that we've got to that level where you can do that. And I think we all know, and probably have seen Jordan around. She's got a crypto.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's doing that for if you feel like you want to do it down that road. So there's just a lot more on offer, I think, for females out there. A lot of TikTok and Instagram and a lot of those popping up. Not that I'd probably take all of my, advice and recommendations from those type of things, but
it's pretty rough, but it gets attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Rough at the edges.
Oh, mate.
I know. There's a few that Craig Jackson follows that I'm a bit suspect of.
Anything Craig Jackson follows, I'm not following. So
yeah, that's it. I'm out. As soon as you said Craig, I'm gone.
What's your advice for people that people ask me all the time? How do I get a job in crypto? I want to get more involved. How do I do it? What's your advice to people
to get a job? Or get involved?
Role, job.
I think it's getting involved in those pages that I mentioned, or talking to people. It's just asking questions. It's always about asking questions, and listening to podcasts, getting involved. It's, talking to people, getting amongst it, going to meetups. Like there's not as many here in Perth, but like there was so many that you could go to in Sydney and Melbourne. Just get amongst the crowd. Like this is the most welcoming, community of anything that I've been in.
Awesome.
All the different spaces that I've worked in, this one's the most welcoming. I've been to a few of your meetups, and the different scale of people
it's wildly diverse, right?
Wildly diverse. But everyone's really happy to talk. Like the last one you had, like so many different people, and everyone's happy to talk.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with the crypto community, on how welcoming they are. Not just females, but everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy to chat. Really showed last year at the crypto event, the Dave Haslop.
Apple Gold Coast,
amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone was there happy to chat.
Yeah.
I think, I think people shouldn't be scared.
Yep.
Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to go up and talk to people, because it's a really welcoming community.
Don't be scared to go to a meetup. You all have crypto in common.
Yep.
And when you get talking to someone about crypto, they will not shut up. No one can talk to me about Bitcoin or like anything, because you're in for like 3-hour conversation. They love it.
And no one can ask a silly question, because if you ask a question and someone knows the answer, then they feel good because they know the answer.
They love answering.
They can get to talk about it and they can help you.
Yeah. It reaffirms their learning. And no one is an expert in crypto. That is bullshit. They do not exist. It is so deep.
Yeah.
And it's either the finance side or the technical side, investment side, or how the communities kind of work.
Yeah.
And that was a really good point as well, where getting involved with communities, if there's a project you like, get involved in the community, start talking, become a moderator. That's how I started consulting with Ben. I was a moderator in the group.
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, I can help you with some extra stuff.
Yeah. Muscle your way through.
Yeah, and I started doing analysis on projects, just posting it up.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like crypto Twitter, it's a wild space, but you can get in there and you can start, putting your perspective out there, document your learning journey.
Or help out. DeFi needs a lot of help too.
Yeah.
Join a group in your area. Like I know it was DeFi Association.
Yep.
They want people helping them out wherever they can. There's chapters all over the place. There's a chapter here in Perth. Canberra's even got one. Adelaide. So join a chapter of Oz DeFi, or just get vocal. Yeah.
Love it. You've been a Collective Shift member now for a little while. I'd love to hear how you use it. How do you like it? What don't you like about it?
I love all of your updates for sure. But I love your newsletters. I steal your info. I love it.
Please do.
Yeah. I think, and I'm a big fan of Matt Williamson.
Yeah.
That guy is,
He's the best.
He's an OG, he's a legend, he's a bomb. He's just got so much knowledge, He needs to do more stuff in front of the camera, that guy. Get him out there.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Even when we're on the podcast, I could ask him the most obscure question.
Yeah.
Him to know everything.
Honestly, he's just saying. And I think, look, when NFTs come back to, he'll...
Oh, yeah, that's his game.
That's his game, absolutely. And they will come back too. So, you guys just on it, all your information.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Appreciate it.
Community as well. Like everyone's always so nice in there.
Yeah.
Like I'm still getting messages from people that I used to speak to years ago.
Yeah.
And then even in other groups, like I jumped in a group for an NFT the other day.
Yeah.
And I recognised a name, and a guy messaged me and goes, "Do I know you from the Collective Shift?" And I was like, "I think so." So
that's really cool.
members are jumping up in other groups.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Everyone's it's cool.
That's really cool.
That's amazing. Now, talk us through. Not only are you COO, you're running a company, you're a mum. I'm sure you do lots of other things in your life. You also have a podcast.
Yes.
So tell us about.
Hey, can I say I've been a guest a couple of times.
Yep.
You guys are prepared, right? Like Trace.
I'm prepared.
You're prepared.
Boys are not prepared.
So this is hilarious. This is the way we do it, right? So I freak out and I'm trying to prepare for the podcast. Ben's like, yeah, no worries, I'll prepare. He writes like 1 or 2 dot points. I don't even understand the context of what the dot points are. He's like, yeah, no, it'll be fine. But the second we get together, we spend 5 minutes like talking about it, write some points, and then we just go. And it's all calm from there. But leading up to it, I'm like, mate, I got no ideas. Oh, don't worry, man.
Can I just say that your intro and your questions it seems like you're very prepared. This has been phenomenal. So kudos to you. You're a natural.
When I started typing, that's what I was preparing. Like,
I'm just saying, you didn't need any more than that. So you're a natural. There you go.
But I love your podcast because it's we don't do too much news. You guys go deep in the news, and like even on the potty yesterday, I was like, oh, shit, I don't even know that. It was just like good to edit. Yeah, I know it's all you. Trace sent me the agenda ahead of time. It was like. She's all over.
Craig will read it a few minutes before. I give him all the best lines.
I imagine it'll be our herding cats, the other two.
Honestly. So I do it all the day before to make sure I've got all the news, just keep up with everything that's going on. That's my morning. So in the morning I'm up at 6:30, checking all the news, putting everything where I need to, and then by the time I get to Monday, I just check if that's what's the most relevant, pop it all in there. But the reason we started the podcast was because as far as Bamboo went, it's really hard to advertise crypto anywhere over the last few years. Couldn't go on Facebook or TikTok or anywhere. So I thought, let's do a podcast so we can educate people And we'll bring Bamboo in as a side. As you hear, it's brought to you by Bamboo, but we barely mention Bamboo. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's more of a side cart, of a funnel to get people through. But we love it. We love doing it.
Yeah.
Pretty mates, guys produce it. So it's a bit of work to do it, pull it together, record. But after that, Sasha, our producer, just pulls it all together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So that's great, but we have fun doing it. But it's really short and sharp, and it's just the news.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. You got to enjoy it too, podcasting.
100%.
That was the advice he gave to us. So about a year ago, we got started, Ben and I. And we didn't know what we're doing. We have to do that look back episode where we play the episode, we roast it. It's so bad.
I watched the first 15 seconds of it. I was like, oh my God, the first episode.
No intro, no nothing. And then like Trace was one of the first. She's like one of our first supporters and gave us really good advice where you're like, I love your podcast, but it's too fucking long. Seriously, it's at the gym. I got like 20 minutes at the gym. It needs to be short and sharp. Just get it. And we're like, okay, cool, we'll take it on board. And then we got some more advice. Everyone's saying the same. Cool, we'll break it up.
Break it down, make it short, sharp. But natural, that's the thing that you guys have got. It's got to be natural. It's got to be easy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's too structured and too, But we love it. It's easy. It's, hopefully it'll
that's good.
Be harder in the bull run. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, that's all the questions I had. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, this has been awesome. Thanks for having me. It's been great fun. Nice and casual, just what I was expecting.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for coming on. I think your background experience is kind of unique and awesome. And anyone else is building a crypto startup, I have unbelievable respect for. So you guys are doing a wicked job.
Oh, look, we love working with you guys, and no doubt we're going to have a long relationship and hopefully, come on the bull run. Not far to go. We're nearly there.
It's going to be wild times, and I don't know about you, but I want the bull run to come along. But
it's going to be hectic. It's going to be hectic. Are we ready? Blake keeps saying that to me. Do we have everything in place? Are we got, are we ready? Can we scale quick? Are we ready? I'm like...
And Ben's like, bro, the best move we ever did was make you COO. Because I was doing it for a couple of months before it was announced. And he's like, man, we're really going to need you in the bull run. And then he starts talking about what's going to happen.
Everything's your fault if it goes wrong.
And I'm like, I'm half out the door. I'm like, man, no, this doesn't sound good.
You guys are going to have therapy together? You're like, Trace, fuck.
It's going to be at the pub, mate.
You're like, person lockdown again, you guys. Well, look, here's to the bull run. Thanks again for having me on. It was awesome.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening to the Bamboo podcast. If you have a friend, maybe a female that's wanting to get into crypto, we'd love for you to share this with them. You can leave us a rating or review, positive, negative feedback, as always. And we've got our Twitter up and running, Bergs. I think we have nearly 30 followers, mate. We're absolutely raining followers on Twitter, at Ben and Bergs. You can follow us. But thanks for tuning in, team, and we'll see you next episode.
Thanks so much, legends.
Bye for now.